Week 6 of the college football season. South Carolina State on the road again. Indianapolis, Indiana, home of the Indianapolis Colts in the Circle City Classic as the Bulldogs take on North Carolina Central. The Buddy Pugh Show starts right now.
You're watching the Buddy Pugh Show, featuring football highlights of your South Carolina State University Bulldogs and the North Carolina Central Eagles. Our sponsors are State Farm Insurance, Palmetto Health, Orangeburg County, the South Carolina Education Lottery, the Regional Medical Center, Advanced Diagnostic Imaging Center, Bats, Bill Owens Custom Clothing, and Woodhash Furnishings. And now, here's our host, Ernest Robinson.
South Carolina State with 2 wins on the season, 1-1 in the MEAC. No room for error this week against the Eagles of North Carolina Central.
They got a lot of skilled guys who really, play at a high level, and we've got to be extremely prepared to try to disrupt that attack with those kind of style plays. We need to get our defensive line in their backfield and kind of take advantage of their kind of young offensive front a little bit, and then offensively we got to run the football. We got to actually be able to run the football, and we're gonna try to run it today, even more with our quarterbacks and see how those guys perform under those circumstances.
Last week, Coach, you made some changes in the offensive line. How did that affect what you do here today, and where do you think you are from the standpoint of the maturation of the changes you made last week?
Well, I think we had some good movement in the way that things went along last week. We moved Avery Scott to center, moved Tristan from center to guard, and both those guys run a lot better, a lot more active. We'll get Devin Flowers involved some this week, and C.J. Wilson probably play a little bit too, but, those guys now have sort of entrenched themselves as guys that can do a little more athletically for us, and we're looking to see if we can take advantage of their ability to run.
Coach, on the defensive side, when you look at what you've been able to do defensively and their offense, the guys who really affected for them, Giovanni Irvine and Arthur Goforth, are both very small, kind of jitterbug kind of players. How will that affect you today, and particularly the players up front?
Well, you got to really keep an eye on both those guys, and not only on offense, but in the kicking game. They both have returned punts for touchdowns, and they've had great kickoff returns. But, we think that Irvine's a little bit nicked up. He got hurt a little bit in the Duke game. He's back full speed today, but it's his first game back, and the Goforth kid is a football player. He's got a little bit of all kinds of abilities, and we better pay attention to those guys, because if not, then they'll both hurt us.
When you look at the keys to the game, you mentioned the special teams, and of course we had some problems at Texas A&M. Much improved last week in the special teams. Did you guys do anything particularly for this game?
Well, we've done a couple of odd and end scheme things, and we've worked real hard on the fundamentals. And the overall topic of this week for our defense has been tackling. We need to tackle these guys and do a good job of driving our head across and that kind of stuff. And then offensively, we've got to get a run game going. I don't know if we throw it well enough just to be able to throw it. So we've got to be able to run it in a way that we can make people do things to try to stop the run and then be able to throw it.
When you look at this team, Coach, what do you hope to do early, and what do you think will be the keys to winning?
Well, we hope to get off to a good, fast start. Anytime you get into a situation where, you're away from home, you're a little bit out of your element, both teams in a little bit of a strange environment, we like to get a great start and see how they react to that.
When we come back, we'll be in the studio with Coach Pugh. We'll have the starting lineups and highlights from Saturday's game, North Carolina Central and South Carolina State, on this edition of the Buddy Pugh Show.